We once lived in a narrow, dark world, the womb where our bodies were formed. When we were born, our bodies were complete, yet our awareness had only just begun. What if this world is actually a second womb? And what, exactly, is it preparing us for? Let us explore this together. The meaning of life remains one of the greatest mysteries humanity has never stopped searching for. From ancient philosophers to modern scientists, from spiritual leaders to ordinary people, the same question continues to echo through history. What is the true purpose of our existence? Ironically, in the age of unprecedented technological and scientific advancement, more people than ever feel lost, disconnected, and empty. The answers they find often seem incomplete, unsatisfying, sometimes even meaningless. And slowly, many abandon the search altogether, filling the void with temporary pleasures, material ambition, and endless distractions. The world offers comfort, status, and power, but all of it is temporary. It satisfies for a moment, then the emptiness returns. Without a solid foundation of meaning, humanity becomes trapped in an endless cycle of desire, working more, wanting more, yet feeling less. But the meaning of life is not just a philosophical curiosity. It is the foundation of how we think, how we choose, and how we live. Without it, life is no longer a conscious journey, but a current that carries us blindly in whatever direction it chooses.
Throughout history, humanity has attempted to explain the meaning of life through religion, philosophy, culture, and various spiritual traditions. Yet for many modern minds, these explanations often feel distant, too symbolic, too abstract, and sometimes lacking a concrete foundation. This does not necessarily mean those explanations were wrong. It may simply be that, in the past, humanity did not yet possess the intellectual tools or scientific understanding needed to fully grasp them. Our knowledge of reality was still limited. Today, however, that has changed. Modern science has penetrated depths once thought unreachable. We now understand more about the human brain, the formation of life in the womb, the structure of matter at its smallest scale, and even the nature of space and time itself. And curiously, at certain points, these discoveries begin to intersect with ancient spiritual insights, ideas once dismissed as purely metaphysical. Perhaps this is the moment to revisit humanity's greatest question. What is the true meaning of life? Not only through belief or philosophy alone, but through the convergence of science, rational thought, and spiritual wisdom.
If we observe the pattern of the universe through modern scientific discoveries, from the Big Bang to the formation of elementary particles, the birth of atoms, the creation of stars and planets, and finally the emergence of life and human civilization on Earth, a clear thread begins to appear. No stage of existence stands alone, and nothing truly stops. Every phase is not an end, but a bridge to the next. It exists as both a result of what came before it and a cause of what is yet to come. Elementary particles emerged from the Big Bang, yet they became the foundation for atoms. Atoms formed molecules. Molecules gave rise to cells. Cells built living organisms of increasing complexity, step by step, in an uninterrupted chain of becoming. This interconnected process reveals that nothing in the universe is meaningless or isolated. Everything moves forward, guided by an invisible architecture, toward higher order and greater awareness. And as far as we can understand today, the peak of this process, at least on Earth, lies in the human being. A creature not only capable of living, but of realizing that it lives, and of questioning the very meaning of its existence. Human beings are inseparable from the universe. We stand at the current endpoint of an extremely long chain of existence that began at the very beginning of creation. And as part of this process, the same laws that shape the universe also apply to us. If none of the previous stages of existence were ever meant to be a final destination, but only steps toward a more complex form, then human existence itself cannot be the end either. We are the result of a long process, and at the same time, we are still in the process of becoming. To understand what is truly happening within human existence, we must look back at the origin and stages of human development. Only by understanding how we came to be can we begin to uncover the true meaning of our lives in this world, along with all its struggles, questions, and challenges.
The early history of human existence can be understood through biology, particularly through the study of human reproduction. It is here that we learn the first stage of life takes place inside the mother's womb, a space naturally designed to form and refine the physical body. The process begins with the union of sperm and egg forming a zygote. This zygote develops into an embryo, then a fetus, and finally into a fully formed baby, ready to be born into the world. In this process, two main elements work together. The first is the material element, essential substances that form tissues, organs, and the body's structure. The second is DNA, a complex code of information containing the instructions and guidance that precisely direct every stage of development. DNA can be seen as a profound blueprint guiding each cell on when to divide, what to become, and where to position itself. Through this invisible guidance, a complete and highly organized human body is formed. In this sense, the first stage of life within the womb is not merely a biological event. It is a fundamental stage of preparation, a phase in which the human being is physically shaped and made ready to enter the world, to interact with its environment, and to become part of a larger system of life.
If we look closely at the first stage of human development in the womb, we can understand that the mother's womb functions as a space for the formation and refinement of the physical body. It is where the structure of the body is slowly built, organs take shape, and the basic systems of life begin to form. All biological activity during pregnancy is essentially directed toward one primary goal: to prepare the physical body so that it can survive and function in the outside world. When this process unfolds properly, the body becomes increasingly complete and ready to face physical reality. On the other hand, if certain stages of development are disrupted, limitations may arise that affect how a person later interacts with the world. For example, if the development of the eyes is impaired, the ability to perceive the visual world becomes limited. The same applies to other organs and bodily systems. This highlights how critical and fundamental the time in the womb truly is. Yet, when a baby is finally born, one crucial reality remains. What arrives in the world relatively ready is only the physical body. Consciousness, understanding, knowledge, values, and competence have not yet developed. All of those still must be formed through experience, learning, struggle, choice, and life itself. And here a fascinating pattern begins to appear. If the womb is the place where the body is formed, then perhaps this world is the place where consciousness is being formed. Not merely a place to exist, but a space where another stage of becoming is taking place.
Long before modern science reached today's level of understanding, many religious traditions taught that human life in this world is not the final destination, but rather a process of shaping and refining the soul. One such indication can be found in the Quran, Surah Ash-Shams, verse 7. By the soul and the one who perfected it. This verse suggests that the human soul is not static. It is in a continuous process of development. At this point, science and religion, often seen as opposites, begin to complement one another. Modern science explains how the processes of life unfold through natural laws, while religion addresses the deeper questions of why they exist and where they are ultimately leading. To make this concept easier to grasp in today's technological world, the human soul can be compared to software. If the body is the hardware, the physical structure, then the soul is the operating system that carries consciousness, understanding, knowledge, values, and direction. Seen this way, a powerful pattern emerges. The mother's womb prepares the hardware, the physical body. Life in the world prepares the software, the soul. Thus, this world is not merely a place to live, work, or seek pleasure. It can be understood as a second phase of human formation, a second womb that shapes, tests, and refines the soul just as the first womb shaped the body. It is not just life, it is an unseen process of becoming. Since human existence in this world is clearly still in a state of becoming, it strongly suggests that this world and this life are not the final destination. If we once again reflect on the first womb, then this world, as a second womb, can be understood as a space designed for the refinement of the deepest aspect of human existence, the soul. Its purpose is not merely survival, but the development of awareness, so that one day the soul may become aligned and capable of entering the next stage of existence. And this conclusion is not drawn from religious belief alone, but from the logical consequence of the continuous pattern of formation we observe throughout both the universe and human life. In this light, every experience in this world, pleasure, struggle, suffering, choice, success, and loss, seems to converge toward a single objective: the growth and maturation of the human soul. When a life becomes consumed solely by temporary desires and fleeting attachments, without contributing to inner growth, wisdom, or depth of awareness, it loses its deeper meaning, and the emptiness it leaves behind may become a burden when facing the next phase of existence. So perhaps the most important question is no longer, what have we gained in this world, but rather, what have we become? Thank you for taking this journey with me. If this video sparked any thoughts, questions, or reflections within you, feel free to share them in the comments. Your perspective matters. If you found this meaningful, consider sharing it with someone who might need it. And don't forget to subscribe to stay with us as we continue exploring the deeper meaning of life, step by step. Until our next journey,